Well, hi and welcome to the show. I'm just going to have to make a quick adjustment here because things aren't as they should be. Let's just get that right, sorted out. There we go. That's it. Okay, welcome to the show. If we've got any issues, then please do let me know. I've got audio and everything is working here, but this is a new system for us, so we may have a few teething problems as we get underway, as we normally do. But you know, eventually we'll overcome everything. So I'm just going to, on this system that we're using now, there is a chat facility. So if you want to put up anything in the chat room, you can put it up now, and I will actually be able to see it live, so that'll be pretty good. And we can run some polls later and things like that. But anyway, so anything you want to say, pop up on there. I've got some great stuff lined up for us today. And like I say, any problems? Okay, we've got a first thing. Rob's come through and said it's all good here. Okay, all good in North Yorkshire, all around the world we're live. Fantastic. Hopefully the quality is pretty good. It might be a little bit off on this one because it's just this is a Google Hangout as opposed to live streaming, but it gives us a lot more interaction, so you can interact very much easier onto the chat room, and I can see that as well. Now hopefully we'll have some live calls towards when we get towards the end of the show, as we get over some bits that I want to cover. Okay, so without further ado, let's just look at what I want to go over today, what we are going to go over today. First up, we got an interview with John Hewlett. Fantastic interview for you to watch. This is quite incredible. This is I got an email from John, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, but I got an email from John listing out in a spreadsheet his reactions to how he was trading, all the things he was writing down in his journal in a spreadsheet. Now, just one thing before I forget, I did mention to John that what he was doing was actually typing down his information directly into the spreadsheet. And I told him to stop that immediately. Get onto the journal, scrap a paper, doesn't matter what it is, use the pen or pencil. Do not edit what you write down. Later on, you can put it into a spreadsheet so you can do your analysis afterwards. But first off, get it down onto a bit of paper, because that's coming directly from the subconscious. You're not thinking about it. You're not editing it. And, you know, that's the way to get it down. Okay, so anyway, so the spreadsheet comes over. I had a look at the spreadsheet. I was blown away with the spreadsheet. I looked it through. I thought, wow, amazing. Actually, so much so that I went in and had a cup of tea with my wife, Denise, and showed her the sheet, and she said, wow, this is incredible. But yet when I spoke to John, he hadn't really made the connection. Now that's probably because he hadn't done enough, but I could see into, you know, I could see the seed of what he'd got there, but he probably hadn't got enough. So anyway, what I'm going to do, without further ado, we are going to go straight into John's interview, and then we'll come back live after that, because we've got a lot of stuff I want to go over. I want to talk about why down moves appear to go quicker. That was a question that came in today. And I also want to talk about some skull practice stuff that I want to get you doing as well. So let's get over now and get straight into the interview with John. And I'll catch up with you as soon as that's over. John.
Morning, Martin.
I know I'm going to ask you this again. Where are you? You're UK, aren't you?
I'm UK. So
UK.
Yeah, it's night.
That's night time here. Yes, that's what you got me confused for a moment. I said good morning, and you said good morning. I thought, oh, hang on a minute, I've got this wrong. It's not.
No, well, it's morning where you are. So
it is indeed. Yeah. I was sorry about the call. I was just on with somebody else taking a call, and it just went on a little bit longer than I needed to. So yeah. So but it was all good. John, I read I'm really excited about this call. Talk to me. Tell me about your spreadsheet.
Okay. Well, I had a call with you 2 weeks ago, and then I'd listed out what I thought you wanted, and you made it clear it wasn't quite right. You wanted to understand, or I should be noting down how I feel, and sort of some of the physical, really internal sort of sensations and senses that I'm getting just as I'm about to take a trade. So I've had a go at doing that. About 20 odd trades over 2 weeks. So the first set were about a week ago, and then I did some more this last weekend. Right. And I tried to think very hard about physically what's running through me. How do I feel just as I'm about to place the trade? So I found it quite difficult in some respects, but you know, when you think about it, there are certainly some things you're feeling. It's often with me, it's about, am I tense? Sometimes I notice that my jaws are clenched. My I may be sort of hunched up, and then there are other things like I might have a song or something playing in my head that I can't get rid of. So those are the sort of things that I pinpointed and noted them down. And took the trades. They're all on the simulator, and I'm glad you're excited because I couldn't really see too much pattern or much differentiated between the, there was winners and losers in there. I mean, it's up overall, but not by much. So I was thinking, what is it that Martin's going to be able to see here that I can't see? Or you probably can't. It probably to do far more. I mean, that's what I'd guess.
Well, you do need to do more. But I looked at this sheet and I thought, oh, holy crap, this is pretty good stuff. This is like marvelous stuff. You clearly identified exactly what you were looking for. What I wanted you to get out of that, you've identified that really well. Now, you said about your teeth, didn't you? About your bite and your.
I can tell my jaws sort of clench a bit when I'm really sort of in the zone.
That's right. Now, when you and if you look at your spreadsheet, I haven't got it in front of me because I'm not this computer. But when I look at your spreadsheet, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was all the losses were on this.
Is that right?
Most of the look now. Listen to me. This is so amusing.
I'm bringing it up here.
This is so amusing. You've written this down here, right? But I've looked at it and thought, oh, this has got the makings of absolutely dynamite stuff here. You've written it down, and you can't fully appreciate what you've written on the sheet. You haven't yet made this connection. You've made the connection through what you're doing, but you haven't made the mental connection that, hang on a minute, this is a bloody good indicator here. I can be using this, and you just need to work out, the way in which you use it. So just keep doing what you're doing, because you're flying. And believe me, in terms of where we're going and what we're doing, you are flying. You are way ahead by having detailed that down and having broken it down, like the teeth, the tension. I mean, I was actually looking at your sheet and I was reading it, and I was starting to grind my teeth. I was like thinking, oh, he's okay, and I'm sort of getting hooked into what you're doing and what you're writing down here. So it's very powerful.
Okay. Funnily enough, I took a trade today, a live trade actually in the market. While I was at work, and I noted down what did I say today? Yeah, this was a real one. I've written breathing normal, moving around, no clenched jaw, because I'd noticed that. Right. And funnily enough, it was a good winner actually. 30
not fun, John. Not funny enough. This is nothing funny about this. This is the only funny thing is you don't quite recognise what you have yet. When I could see you actually then started to move around. You started to become animated to what you do as you were going back into that zone. You went back into that mental zone you were trading as you relived the trading experience. And this is what I need people to do, is to do that so that they can draw it out and get it into their journal. So what you had, imagine this, just imagine this. Let's suppose so you know this one thing, and this one thing is that when you have this tension in your jaw, that results more times than not in losing trades. John, if you perfect that one thing, you will make more money than you can poke a stick at very quickly indeed. Because even if you then took 10 trades and they were 50-50, but you knew the clenched jaw on the 5, even if you took the trades, you would be able to close them off instantly. Your losses would be very small and your wins would be much greater. And so the power that you have in that is not to be underestimated. Don't believe that if somebody says to me, I've got this great thing and I know when I'm going to lose, I've got this great thing when I know I'm going to win, doesn't matter. Why does it matter whether which one it is? You could have both. That'd be great. And some people will get both on there, but most people won't. They'll probably just get one side of this. And don't think that because you've detected when you're likely to lose, that is a bad thing. That is a very, very powerful indicator indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really exciting. I just looking back, there were several wins when I had the teeth clenching thing.
Yeah.
But I suppose, you know, by the law of averages, that can happen, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I mean, I suppose the other thing, and I'm really not trying to pour cold water on this at all, because I think it's really interesting. When you're doing, or when one is taking the simulator trades, it's slightly different because you're in a, I think I do find myself going really into a zone on those, because I'm just, you do it quickly, aren't you? You're seeing the market moving really fast.
Yes.
And it's a slightly different, you're in a different place physically, mentally somehow, watching the bars come up quickly,
yeah,
rather than in real time, where I think it is a slower, a more deliberate process, I suppose. I don't know whether I really need to practice it on real trades much more than the simulator or not.
Listen to
but
yourself.
The simulator was good.
Yeah, listen to yourself and understand how you feel about when you want to go live and go into the market. You know, listen to what's going on within yourself. Now, just to back up there on the simulator, let me explain to you the full purpose of the simulator. The simulator.
It worked, by the way, because the trade I took today, sorry to interrupt, was almost a carbon copy of a winning one I'd done on the simulator on Sunday. It just looked exactly the same.
Right.
It almost, I saw it. It was, and I was really confident with it.
But so when you say you saw it, then you said you were really confident. What did you feel? You felt really confident. You felt something.
I noted it down. I felt confident. I was moving around, no clenched jaw. The breathing was normal. I was just calmly placing the trade.
Yeah. And that's it.
That felt very good.
Yeah. And that good feeling, that's what we're after doing. That's what we're going to get you to get to the point. So that's an automatic response for you. So the simulations that you've been doing, all they're really doing is loading up your subconscious with a massive amount of data. Think of it like, if you want a computer to solve a problem, you have to put something into it. You have to input the data. And the more data that the computer has, often, not always, often, but the more data it has, the more variables can come out, the more information can be drawn out of it. It's like, I suppose, statistics. You put the more information in, then you can get more meaning out of it, although that's probably not a good example, statistics. But so what we're doing with the simulator is you are going over months and months and years of market data at high speed, but real market data, real actions, everything exactly as it happened. Now, whilst we're not looking for a repeating pattern, we're looking for a repeating cycle: accumulation, manipulation, and profit release. We're looking for that cycle or that pattern within the form that we see on the chart. By you continually driving this into your brain, this massive amount of data in this high-speed way, what I'm looking to you to develop, which is what you are developing, clearly you're right on the road to that, is a sense of knowing. Where does a sense of knowing come? It comes from the subconscious because you've seen it happen before. You see, and the brain just goes, aha. Not so much that it sees the pattern, it recognizes the outcome. It recognizes the outcome of the experience. And that recognition of the outcome is what we're after in the journal. You know, John, isn't this it's like a subtle thing that we do here. People think this is such a complex business. They think it's such a thing you've got to study for years, and you've got to learn the patterns and the candle shapes and the Hirami crosses and the all this sort of morning cloud over and all these things. They think you've got to learn all this stuff. And of course the industry promotes that. That's what you have to learn. But the more you learn that, the more you become disconnected from the actual reality of the market. You're not connecting to the core of what the market is. And I spoke to somebody just on an earlier call, and he was saying that how he said, wow, you know, there's like the speed of this, we're only in lesson 6 and here we are, you've forced us through this pipe, and I said, it's all deliberate. Now, I can't make any apologies for it. I've deliberately overloaded you. I've deliberately given you this huge amount, because ultimately at the end of the day, I don't want to be sitting here for in 11 months time and saying, okay, chaps, now you're ready. Where you go, you got a month to get on with it. It's not what it's about. It's about getting you trading now and making this money over this next months as we're going through. This is what it's all about. So it's pointless me sitting here saying, okay, well, you're not ready yet. You are ready. You're ready when you're ready, and that's what all this is about. Which is, this is the exciting part for me. I really enjoy having these conversations and listening to the varying different ways that people have got. And I love reading text from you. Like when I looked down this, and I thought, I actually said to my wife, I said, hey, look at this. This guy don't even know what he's got. I said, look, and she said, oh wow, look, and she's like reading through this stuff, and she could see it. I could see it.
Me. I didn't see it. I need to print it off or something and look at it.
You need to print it off, and you need to do another 50 of them. So that one day you just get to the point where you get the aha moment. You think, hang on a minute, none of this matters. This is all that matters. This is the only thing that matters to me as a trader, nothing else. Subconscious, give me this or give me this. That's all I need. I don't want anything else. Yeah. And that's all you need. And that's why it's so hard for me to get long-term PAT users to come on a show. And they won't come on. They don't want to go backwards. They don't want to, so they don't go to the forum. They log into the forum and they look at stuff like that, but they don't, and very rarely do they ever post. And when you speak to them, they don't want to, it's not like they're being mean and they don't want to help. It's like they've gone to this point where to start now explaining what they do is breaking down what they're doing. And there's danger in that. It's like John, you sitting and becoming successful at what you're doing. You're starting to make a lot of money. People around you notice this, and then they say, show me what you do. Show me what you do. And you say, and of course your ego comes out and says, yeah, come on over. I'll show you what I do and all this sort of stuff. And then they sit down and they, oh yeah, I could do that. And then, oh, what about this bar here? And suddenly you start breaking down a mental process that you had, a totally good indicator, everything that's making money. You start breaking it down and you start going back to form. And you feel good about it. And then suddenly you are in deep trouble. Because
you
now
totally lose the message you had. Sort of thing.
You totally lose it and you've gone back again. And this is why it's very important that as you start making money, you really need to go a little bit underground. You don't really want to talk about it to a lot of people. You've got to check your ego. We all have problems with that. Don't get me wrong. It's all a thing that we need to keep in check is our ego, because we feel invincible. We start to know where markets are going to go, and that's a very powerful information. And you can, post things on forums, and you're the guru on the forum because you know.
Yeah. I don't think I'll do that much. No, I've been trying to do this for 10 years. I know how hard it is.
Yeah. No, but that's absolutely that's brilliant, John. So just carry on doing what you're doing. If you want to go live now and do it all live, then do so, but still keep doing your simulations. Still keep doing them, because all I want you to do is I want you to overload your subconscious. You've got to put, I just want so much data in there, because the more data you have, the easier it will become and the quicker you will recognize what you're looking for when you step up to the live market. And it's a wonderful feeling when you just glance at the market, you look at it and you think, you just know. It's an instantaneous knowing. And you don't always know, of course, because you can't always know. Because if you don't get that sense of knowing come through, you've got to learn to walk away. It might only be 5 minutes, John, that you need to walk away, but you need to walk away. Don't keep staring at the screen trying to find meaning. That's another very dangerous thing. I've got to find out. I'll wait for the feeling to come. Are my teeth going? No, they're not. And you're looking away at the screen. Don't do that ever. You look at a screen and you don't know within a few minutes of what you want to be doing, get up and walk away. Go have a cup of tea, go for a walk, read a passage in a book. Force read a passage in a particular book on your desk, so it completely drags your mind away, and then look back at the screen and look for that sensation, that feeling again, to warrant taking the trade.
Okay. Do you? A couple of very quick questions.
Yeah.
Do you have any favoured currencies? Do you think it's easier with certain currencies over pairs over others, or is it, this goes for everything? I'm sure, but
it goes for everything. But it's a good question. And I had a call the other day. I don't know if it's actually on one of the shows. It might be on the last show we did. Basically, no, it might be on the last show. I don't know. Anyway, the thing is,
I think it might be. I'm sorry.
I think it might be that where we've got, I think it's Jack who looks at two markets, and before he does anything, he looks at two markets and he gets a sense about which market he wants to trade, and then he doesn't look at the other one. So what he's done is he's narrowed the field down before he starts, so he gets a sense of knowing about a particular market. Now, that's a great thing, and I hadn't realized that there's something that I do. You know, it's something I will just, I have, you know, 4 pairs up, and I look at the market and I just have a look, and something draws my attention. So yes, by all means, it's not whether one is particularly easy all the time, it's not, but there's certainly markets that do get into, you know, highly recognizable, you know, cycles, as it were. So by all means, you know, call up, you know, 2 markets, 3 markets, 4 markets of your choice, of your choice.
I seem to have had much more success with the Aussie dollar. I think right back from when you did your first demo trade, you know, against the trend line 4 weeks ago, you just happened to have the Aussie 45-minute chart up, and so that's the one I used a lot for my early simulations, and I just seem to have got. I don't know whether this is dangerous, but I feel like that's the one I know, and I'm sensing the rhythm of it quite well.
That's not dangerous. That's very powerful.
So I favour that. I know I've tried then to move over to sterling, and I found that quite tough, mainly because I think you need to put a bigger stop loss in. I've been going with like maximum 20, you know, probably 15. I don't want to lose more than that. Whereas on that sterling one, suddenly you get a huge, what I call a sort of a widowmaker bar that just, you know, really whipsaws you out, and so I had problems with that when I was doing simulations with sterling. Now I think you can probably adapt this across, but as you say, if you feel comfortable with a certain pair,
yes,
it makes sense to just stick with that.
Then you just become professional, John, at doing that. That's all you do.
Yeah.
What does it matter if you trade one pair? You know, you're looking 20 pips a day, 100 pips a week. It doesn't, you know, look at the range the market moves. It doesn't matter. And some days it's not going to move and you're not going to trade. You know, other days you are. And so you don't have to go around chasing this, you know, as it were. But I liked your term there a moment ago, widowmaker. I haven't heard that one for a few years.
It just makes me think of it. It just sort of like, it's that horrible sort of like, I don't know what you call it. I don't know, but it's where the higher high and a lower low within the same candle or bar, and so it takes you.
Be careful there. Listen to yourself where you're going. Be very careful there. You're going back into form, so we'll leave that conversation.
Yeah, I'm right. Right.
Yeah. Did you? Sorry, you had another question. There was you had, did you?
Yeah. Then the other question. Time of day. Again, when I'm doing the simulations, obviously, if you're going through very fast, you can see it go into the night time, the European night time anyway, where there's not much action, and they're very, very close together, and you're likely to get the bigger moves around about 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm finding that I tend to get, you know, much better results. Often I find that in the morning, that's probably when you're going to get stop running and so on. So I'm a bit nervous about that. But around about lunchtime in the UK, 12, 1 o'clock, often I feel like I can sense the market better, and you're not going to get the market makers sort of like driving it one way and then back up and stopping you out. Now I don't know whether I'm just sort of willing that, or whether you've got any views on that, whether you've seen that
the only view I've got on it, John, is coming back down to you, as to how you feel at the time looking at the market. If you are able, it's all good. What we do is extremely simple. When it boils down, it all comes down, all this learning and all the stuff that you're cramming in here, when it actually comes down to it, it's a very simple process. I'm looking for you to become comfortable doing what you're doing, and however that is achieved will be different for everybody on this course. It will just so different. You know, they will have a different market, they'll have a different way of looking at things. And even if both of you, the two of you sat down and you both like the Aussie dollar, you'd look at things. If you sat down together to trade, you'd end up confusing each other, because you're never going to feel the same stuff. You're not going to, you know, you'll be looking at the same moves, but you're not going to be feeling it the same way, and that's going to cause a misinterpretation. It's not a,
right.
it's not a, you know, this isn't a business where you can involve other people really in your trading, because you will immediately mechanicalize things and get yourself into trouble.
Yeah, no, that's very much what you preach. Don't mechanicalize it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So one last question, which you might say, don't be that mechanical, but this is more on trade management.
Yeah.
When I'm in a trade, what I tend to do is, and this might be something I've got to lose, I don't like taking losses really. So if I'm up 15, 20 pips, I'm pulling the stop up to guarantee a pip or something, just so it feels like I'm lost on it. So I consequently then often it reverses back, and I only end up with 1 pip, or and I don't get very many big wins, because once I'm the 20 or 30 pips up, very much on the simulation, because I want to maximize my sort of aggregate number of pips. Yeah, that sort of seems to make sense. I have trouble holding it open and getting the really explosive move, even though I've got a fairly strong. I quite like the way it's going. Yeah. If I get my 25 or 28 pips, I find it quite hard to let it run and give it room. Right. Is that, again, that's just a personal thing?
No, that's something that you need to be very. Yeah, something you need to work on. And I'll tell you what, you need to know, as much as you're developing the sense of when you need to get into a market, you need to also become aware and sense when you need to come out. So in other words, you're not looking to take, you know, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this to you because it can go on the show. It's okay. You're not looking to take X number of pips for any move at all. You're looking to come out of a market when you know you've got to come out of a market. So you're looking for that exit indicator within you as well. It might well be when you're in the market, you've got in the market, you're happy with the market, and then suddenly you start to feel, you know, you get your negative indication.
You get that bad feeling.
That bad feeling. Now that feeling, then maybe that's the feeling, John, that says, right, this is where I shut the trade off. You don't wait for 2 or 3 more pips. You don't do anything at all. You shut the trade off. And what you end up with is this mechanism where you know when to get in and you know when to get out. And your stop loss becomes an airbag. It becomes something down the road here that is there for an emergency. Moving a stop loss up and locking in 1 pip or 2 pips is a psychological thing. That is a mechanicalized process. It is going to cost you money. It is going to do tremendous damage to you, because all it does is you're 20 pips in the money. You think, oh, I'm not too sure about this. Now, what you should do is take, you know, you've got to learn when to take those pips. You should take those pips. But the psychological thing says there's fear and greed. Okay, right. Well, if I just push this stop up now and lock in 1 pip, hey, I've got nothing to lose. I can just sit back and relax now. I can just sit back and relax. And then sure enough, bang, 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 bang. Then it comes out, okay, you got a pip. Move on to the next trade. Yeah. But you wasted it. You gave it away because you disconnected yourself from the market. And that's you know, be very careful that a stop loss does not disconnect you from reality. And the reality is that this market is still moving.
Yeah, no, I think I totally with you there. I mean, are you the same on a limit order for a target? So, because I mean, that I quite often find that could be quite good. I stick in, you know, I'm looking for 35 pips, say, so I do put a limit. Take me out if it does happen to spike up and hit 35 pips. Yeah. At least that way you're on the upside, if you like.
Yeah, and that's good, you know, and that's excellent. If you're trading to like, say you're using the 90 pip tool and you're trading up and you think, right, well, there's your 90 pip target up there. You know, that's my target. Yeah, you put your limit order in there because, you know, that's likely that's where it's going to go. We know that. So, and you might get that blip, boop, and then the market drops back down 15, 20 pips. And of course, if you haven't got that limit order set up, so I like limit orders for that because I like to see where the market is. This is where I expect the market to go. So, you know, this is where I want my limit order. But you don't just sit there blindly, because it may, you know, start to run up and you get that feeling, you know what, well, maybe I should take the 35, 40 pips now and just see what happens, you know, because you can always go again on there rather than just sitting there and watch it go all the way up and then, you know, just shy of your target, as it were, because you say it's got to go here when reality it hasn't got to go there. It hasn't got to go anywhere, and that will be constantly shifting sand, as it were.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very, very helpful. Thank you.
That's all right. No, well, thanks for coming on. This will be a great thing for the show tomorrow. I shall put this in the show tomorrow, so this will be really good. I just want to ask you a question. You said to me that a while ago that you've been doing this for 10 years now.
Yep.
Yeah. How do you feel with what we're doing? How has it changed? Has it changed? How do you feel about being on this course now, working with me closely this way? How do you feel about that relative to your history as a trader?
Well, I'm certainly optimistic and excited about. I've always felt that you only need you surely only need to change a couple of fairly small things just to get your averages up, so that you're winning 6 or 7 times out of 10 rather than 50-50. I totally get the whole thing about you only need 20 pips. You don't need much. You just need to just be the right side, and you're going to have a positive equity curve, and then you're laughing. So that's exciting. I mean, I think it's very interesting the way your method's totally different to anything I've read about before. I've spent thousands on other people's courses and never come across anything like this.
No.
Well, that's up to a point. The whole idea about markets consolidating and then getting the powerful release. I mean, that's something I've seen before. But I like the software, and I think this last couple of weeks, this is very powerful. What you're getting us to do with really searching into ourselves for the sense that we get in the subconscious for when you do almost. I'm not quite there, Martin. I haven't quite come over to the dark side or whatever, the light side, whatever it is, to wholly trust my instincts, because I'm still practicing. But I think it'd be a wonderful thing to have that sense of knowing, or at least knowing that it's a good trade. It might not end up being a winner because anything can happen, but on the balance of probabilities across 100 trades, then 75 or 80 of them are going to work your way.
Yeah.
And that's a marvelous thing. So I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to getting better at it.
And I think the thing is,
have you got any more secrets for us?
You hold the secrets, John. You hold them all.
Yeah.
I've just got to bring them out.
Okay.
I think the thing is as well that you say about you coming over to light in the dark side as a joke, but really there's some reality in there that you've got to learn. Like in any other thing you were doing, you'd be trusting yourself. You'd be trusting your own abilities. You'd be trusting your instinct. You'd be trusting your sense of knowing. Can you make this exit? Can you get out there before this car? Can you cross this road? Can you get through this door? Can you make this lift? You trust everything about you as a person making these decisions on the fly, instantaneously. You have a sense of knowing about everything to do with your life, everything. But somehow when it comes down to this, it doesn't seem quite right. It doesn't quite seem quite the same. But all I'm saying to you is I'm giving you a completely natural process of trading the market that you use in every other part of your life as a standard given, unrecognizable form of pattern actions, let us say. You just do it all the time. You never think about it. At this stage with trading, you're thinking about it. I need to get you, and you need to get you to the point where you do not think about it. It becomes an automatic process. And that's where we're going.
Unconscious mastery or whatever it is.
That's right. Yeah, it's an unconscious mastery. You have that sense of knowing. And of course, anybody listening to this on the outside, they're listening about it, and they haven't watched all the previous shows, and they think, well, how on earth does that happen? How does that? There's no concrete stuff there. How do you get this? And of course, this is such a powerful bit of kit, a powerful. By the way, just one quick question. Do you type your stuff up, or do you write it first, then type it?
I've been typing it straight into the spreadsheet.
Okay.
The one I did at work today, I quickly wrote a handwritten note before then typing it into the spreadsheet.
Okay. Little tip. I would start writing everything down. Handwrite it. Handwriting is a completely, you don't need to learn how to handwrite, do you? You don't need to learn how to
all right,
spell.
so it's saying that's another unconscious thing.
Yeah, that's a direct connection through. And when you are writing, John, you write down, don't correct what you're writing. Never correct what you're writing. So as you're writing it down, if you make a mistake or something like that, you let that mistake go through into the sentence, go through into the grammar, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Let it come through. And then when
that's quite clever, actually.
Yeah, and then when you go back,
where you're going with that.
Because when you type in, you go to the cell, click on the thing, and you prepare for what you're going to write. With a pen or a pencil and stuff, you don't even need to look at the pad, do you? You can write the sentence.
No, and I imagine people will probably spot patterns in their handwriting or I don't know where the letters might slope or anything. It probably does betray quite a lot about how you're feeling.
Absolutely. No, it really does. Yeah. Okay, John. All right. Well,
all right.
You must be getting ready for bedtime, and I'm getting ready for.
So is this time tomorrow night then? The live.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this one at the same time because our friends across the pond, it's their Thanksgiving, isn't it? So I don't want to drag them away from that. Although I'm sure they'd be so excited to come and spend time on the show with us, but I'm sure they got better things to do. Probably ramming turkey, eating turkey, lots of turkey and stuff like that, I suppose, and having their dinners. Okay, so we'll catch up with you tomorrow. If you're around tomorrow, great. And look forward to catching up soon.
Okay, thanks, Martin.
All right,
Happy Thanksgiving to all our American friends. Cheers.
Okay, bye. Okay, right. So sorry about that. We had a lockout on the sound there for a moment because once again I forgot to push the audio button. I will get this stuff eventually. Okay, so I'm going to recap on what I've asked. Paul asked a question about, like John, I made 31 pips today. Will the subconscious mind give us a better idea to see over time? Or is it the repetitive sim training or both? Okay, now what it is actually both. Now I'm going to just kill off this sound because we've got somebody calling in at the minute and can't take that in a moment because we want to finish up on what we were doing because I didn't press the audio button. Okay, so that question of Paul's, it's actually both, Paul, because what we're doing here with the subconscious mind is we're building up a library, a database. And we want a massive database. The more data we have in the database, the easier it will be for us to get the indications that we know what we've got to do, the sense of knowing, as it were. Now, when we're looking at the database and when you're doing the simulations, what we are looking for, or say what the mind is looking for, is not the high volume up, the high volume turn and things like this, and looking at the floating zone. Of course, we're looking at this in a generalized term. But what we're after is really the pattern of accumulation, manipulation, and profit release. That's what we're really after. That's what we're sucking into the subconscious mind. So that when we step up to do anything, when we step up to look at the market, we draw from that the recognition or historic recognition of what we're looking at the chart, but we're drawing up where we are in the cycle of the accumulation, manipulation, and profit release. We're not pulling up the patterns. So in other words, we're not recording these patterns, we're only recording the outcomes. So when we see this pattern again, which is the form on the chart, something triggers within us that either this is the right one or it's not the right one, because we've seen so many of these. And the subtleties that you will never pick up on a conscious level. We could look at 10 different charts and there could be 10 different outcomes in it. We could be looking at high volume turns, but there will be nuances, subtleties in there that you don't pick up on a conscious level, but your subconscious does. And that is what we're after, is that subtleness of coming through when we're looking at something to give us that indication. Okay, now, just before we take some calls, there is another question I want to talk about. A question that came in earlier, which was down moves. Down moves are quicker. Well, not exactly that question, but it was around that. Now, the particular question that came in from what the student was that he felt that, was it just him, or did down moves occur quicker? Now, down moves do traditionally, yes, sort of, they do occur quicker. You often see that. There's a lot of psychological input in that as well. As you see a market come off quicker, it can tend to just roll off and come off down quicker, and that gives us the impression of that, but there is some truth in that. Now, he also said that he was having real trouble, and I believe this is the same trade, he was having real trouble spotting up moves, but he was very good at getting down moves. So in other words, picking up and shorting the market. He was very good at doing this, but he wasn't very good at getting the up moves. Now, is this a problem? Have a think about this. You might think it's a problem on the surface. You might think what am I going to do? I can't get these up moves, but yet you're very good at getting down moves. Just think about the power in that alone. If this particular trader never developed the ability to know when to sense and get the sense of knowing when a market was going to up, if he never did that at all, how far away would he be from success? Not very far at all. So now, whilst I'm not saying he shouldn't continue to try, he certainly shouldn't beat himself up and be thinking that this is no good, I'm not doing this right, I'm not getting something, there's something wrong. Hey, I don't know. Maybe this is just going to be you. Maybe you are going to be the best shorting trader that ever was because you have this incredible indicator. And maybe your indicator, your sense of knowing, because it's focused on one side of the market, maybe it becomes much stronger than somebody's indicator who is looking at both sides of markets. I don't know that. I can't answer that. Only you will answer that over a period of time. And of course, working together, we'll draw that out and capitalize that and develop that. So hopefully that answers that question on there. Now, another question, there was another interview actually I did, but I can't put that interview up because the sound was really bad. We had this crackling sound on it and I couldn't put that up. And so I'm audio conscious now. I'm checking everything, making sure it's all going out now. Yes, so he said that he'd really dropped behind because he'd been away a couple of weeks and he really felt he's got behind, and he was going back to all the PAT indicators, the 6 videos that show you how to use PAT and all the indicators and everything else, and he felt he was dropping behind. So what we did was we nailed that one in 5 minutes flat, less than that, 2 minutes flat, less than that even. It was instantly. You are way beyond this. You on this course, the group of you in the $1 Million a Year Club, you are way beyond PAT indicators. Now, so why are they there? What's the deal here? Well, truth be told, over the years, since I've been developing this software, people have had ideas that have come up and they've asked for certain things to be put in, and I've always looked at PAT as, I don't want to put in things in it. I actually want to take things out of it. That's why there's a lot of things on the software where you can click and remove the bars. You can click and just look at belief bars. You can take stuff out of it to leave a clearer picture. But over the years, things do get put in, and we utilize those things to not to look at the chart to give us an indicator. In other words, like intent blocks, for example, we look at these, but we don't say, oh, it's an intent block, this is now time to trade. The subconscious mind is looking at the intent block, and that's what it's all about, is training the subconscious mind on these indicators, not you to physically learn about this intent block and this floating zone. I don't want you to focus on any of these individual items because you're beyond that. You've now moved to a different level where you're looking at the global picture and you're getting that database filled up more and more, and you're looking for a sense of knowing. So don't be thinking about that. Yes, you can go back and look at those things if you want to, but you don't have to go. And even if you're starting out fresh, you don't have to go and learn all those training indicators, because what we're doing here is taking you beyond that. Okay. We answered the subconscious, will it get better over time? The PAT indicators, we've done that, and down moves quicker. And there. Okay, so if someone wants to call in, now I've got a call booked from Rob, which I'll try and take, but whoever comes in first next, I'll take. If it's Rob, okay. But if someone wants to call in now, then I can take that call and we'll go live to that. I'm just going to have a quick check on the questions while anybody is dialing in. To say dialing in, of course, you only have to click a button, as it were. There we are. Still can't hear. Yeah, sorry, there's a few messages come up on about the sound. Sorry about that. Okay, Tony's come online now, so let's have a quick chat with Tony. Let's come on there. Where is he? Sound is okay. Video is connecting. Here he is. Here's Tony.
Hi, Martin.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
Hi, Martin. I'm good, thank you. I'm at the office at work, actually.
Oh, you're
not having my turkey. That's tomorrow. Turkey's tomorrow.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. Actually, it was somebody in England who told me it was Thanksgiving Day, so that's why I cancelled it. I should have asked.
Thursday tomorrow, and it's Wednesday here. Yeah,
oh, of course,
so
yeah. I should have asked an American really when Thanksgiving was, shouldn't I? That would have been the thing to do. Yeah.
I'm clearly not American.
I can just see that. I can just interrupt you. I can just see that Rob's calling. Rob, I'll take your call after Tony. No worries. Okay, Tony. So yes, far away.
Yeah, great interview today. I mean, I had a whole load of questions written down, and most of them have been answered already. But I got a couple if I could.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
The whole thing's dynamite.
God.
I'm so excited by what you're doing and helping us to do here.
Well, I'm first off, you know, I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm excited for you. Trading for me is you know, it's a bit boring. I've been doing a lot of years on that, so my excitement is doing this. I'm loving this course because I'm loving the feedback that's coming, and I'm loving where you guys are going. So it's great all round. So it's not just one way. Believe you me, I enjoy doing it as well. So far away. Sorry to interrupt you.
No problem. So I'm doing live trading. I've sort of backed off a bit on the simulations, but I'm hearing that the simulation has a lot of value.
Yeah.
So should I keep two journals, one for live trading and one for simulations, or should I just ball them all in together into one journal? Is there any reason why I...
That's an interesting
You see where
comment.
I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do see where you're coming from. That's an interesting comment. And you see, this is where I really enjoy this training, because you take me back to so many years ago. You know, I forget a lot of what I've learned. So now you brought this up, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, this is exactly what I did. I actually didn't use two journals. I used to take a dividing line straight down the page, and I just split it into two. And that was how it was. It was live and simulation. Now, it was a little bit different for me when I started off, because I didn't have PAT software like it was today and that sort of stuff, but I still did have this two mechanism. There was the live trading, and there was what we called the paper trading. So there was definitely these two journal entries, if you like, single journal, but things. So really good point. Everybody that's listening, yes, there is a definite difference between obviously live and simulation. So you should have two different journals, because it may well be that the quality that comes through, your feedback that you're trying to record, is a much better quality on the live trading than it is on the simulations, even though it could be the same. There could be much stronger feelings on the live trading. So really good question.
Okay, my second one, I've been doing live trading, and I've got a pile of notes.
Right.
I've probably got, I don't know how many.
Are they 20 bill? Are they 20 bill notes? Are they 20 bill notes pile? Or?
No, they're scrap.
Oh
no, they're scrap pieces of paper. But I've not looked at them, because I'm kind of, it's like it's gold dust, and I'm kind of frightened to look at them.
Right.
And start analysing, looking for a pattern, because that may influence the next time I do it.
Right.
You see what I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I've just put them to one side. I've not looked at them.
Okay.
Thinking, I'll wait till I've got 50 of them, then I'll look.
Right.
Is that just nonsense, or is there a danger of?
No, I don't. Obviously, the thing is, what I think, Tony, is that when you come up with these ideas, and or these ideas are presented to you, and suddenly thing comes in your mind that you don't want to look at them, you should listen to it, because there's a reason why that has come to you. It may well be that for you to look at them until you get the urge to look at them, it actually could be destructive. Now, you use that word, it could be destructive. I think you used destructive or
yeah, I'm almost frightened to look at them. I get the inner feeling. It's like, I don't want to touch it just yet, to start looking for the pattern in case I pollute. Pollute it. Yeah. And I start imagining when I'm trying to write it down, I can think, well, the last trade, I was thinking, no, I'm trying to be in the moment, the pause button, and write it down. So I feel I don't want to look at them just yet. I'm not ready to look at them.
I think that is another really good thing, Tony. Really good job you came on this morning. That's two excellent things, excellent points for everybody else here. I think that is so valid. Don't try and do your analysis very quickly. And you can, but you can do 5 or 6, 10. You think, oh, you've got the pattern. But yes, you could then go off down this road thinking, oh, that's my pattern. And then you discover later on it's not.
Exactly.
So I think, excellent idea, excellent advice for others as well. Keep it to one side. Don't do your analysis too much, because don't forget, we can, you get 50 of them down, 100 of them down, or whatever. If you need help with that, then you can send them over to me, and then we can go through those. And if that's a personal thing, that you might have some personal feelings that you don't want to tell somebody about, because I've known that in the past, where traders get something that's a real personal thing, and they don't want to share that live, and that's okay. And I can work with that in confidentiality, and we can sort that out if the case may be. But so don't worry about it. So really, yes, excellent question. Have you got another brilliant question that I can give an answer to?
I actually don't, but But when you asked, I forget the guy's name, that brilliant interview we just had.
John.
You asked him how he felt now. John.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
John.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember faces but not names.
No,
but,
I'm a bit of a bugger.
You asked him how he felt now. Yeah, I'm terrible. So you asked him how he felt now to what he was before.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, if I've sometimes gone on other websites and seen the other way they do trading, the masses, and it does my head in.
Right.
It just does my head in. Because it's not simple. It's just like Fibonacci, this pattern, that pattern. And like once you started down the pattern line and doing this, you can never go back.
No.
I just look at it and feel, ugh,
yeah,
can't do that. That's just too complicated.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I don't want to decry what we do, but what we do is a very simple thing. It's a very natural thing. Yeah. And that's the whole essence of this. It is natural. None of this should ever be forced. And I was saying to John about everything else in life we do naturally. We've got this subconscious reservoir of information that we instantly draw on, gives us confidence. We have a sense of knowing. We know exactly what we have to do. But somehow when it comes to trading, we're educated or told that, oh, you can't do that. You've got to have all these lines and indicators and moving averages and candle patterns and all these books and everything else. And we completely detract from what we are and how we function. So that's why, and yet isn't it strange in a way, just to change that subject, the topic, isn't it strange how that a lot of people I will talk to and they say, well, there's nothing there. You're not giving us anything because where's the pattern? Where's the indicator? And what they realize is it's everything, but they've already got it. And that's why they don't often sometimes see the value of it and realize that they can turn this information into a tremendous benefit for themselves.
Yeah. There's a quote from, I think it's Einstein or somebody, you should make everything should be made as simple as possible, but no simpler.
Yes. Yes.
Simple is the way.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'm not sure if it's Einstein. But,
yeah, something like that. He had white fuzzy hair, a lot of it. He was a good guy. He was a clever guy. The favourite one of mine, it says that imagination is more important than intelligence because imagination will, I think, carry you around the world or something like that. And I said that to a guy once. I said that to a very high academic guy once, and he called me an idiot. But I said, I don't think Einstein was an idiot. But anyway, but you know, there you go. Yeah. So anything else on your pad?
You've answered all of my questions, I think. That's cool. That's really good. Thank you. Yeah, that's superb.
Okay, well, look, Rob, if you're listening now, you come on now and I'll take the next call. But just before you go, don't go away, Tony, because if Rob comes on next, I'm not just picking on Rob, okay, but I want to do an exercise with somebody, and I'm going to do it with Rob if he comes on. He's probably frightened now. He probably won't call in now. Because I'm going to get him. but so whoever comes in, anyway, I'm going to try and do this, and then this exercise that I'm going to do, I'm going to be doing. I want you to do at the same time. I want everybody to do this exercise, and I will be picking people at random to do this exercise without any warning whatsoever, live. It will be done live, and you'll see how this works. Rob is probably terrified now, but I'm sure he'll still call in. Okay, Tony. So thanks very much for that. I look forward. Have a great Thanksgiving. Eat plenty of turkey, and plenty of.
I will.
Just as an off the cuff remark here. What do you put on your turkey? Do you put this cranberry sauce stuff on it? Do you use that over there?
Well, I'm actually going to some friends, so I'll eat whatever they put in front of me.
Absolutely, that's what I think. And just one other thing, about Americans, which really annoys me about Americans, and that is that we have this sweet in England. We have this sweet, and it's called Polo, okay? And it's the mint with the hole, all right? Polo's the mint with the hole. Yep. Now, you stole that from us. You called them lifesavers, all right? They are not lifesavers. They never were. They're Polos, and they are a British mint, okay? So you just remember that next time you're sucking on a lifesaver.
I'll get in the office and tell everybody here.
Yes, you are doing it. Stolen from England. It's a bloody Polo mint, okay? And the advert was Polo, the mint with the hole. You guys stole it and called it a bloody lifesaver. Anyway, on that note, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch up with you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, you've got to have a bit of humour in life as well, and that was pretty good. So I'm hoping that Rob is going to call in now, and I haven't put Rob off. It's not painful, Rob, I promise you, and it's only just an exercise I want to do to sort of do a bit of imagining stuff and get into your mind a little bit more. So I'm just going to have a look and see if there's any questions on here before I see if we're going to take this next call in. Let's have a look. I do that 2 journals, so somebody else is going 2 journals. Okay, Rob has come in, so I'm going to get Rob now and take that call. Hi, Rob. Let's have a look. Where is he? Okay. Hi, Rob. Yes, can you hear me?
Hi, Martin.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, mate. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well indeed. Are you enjoying today's show?
It's great.
Yeah, jolly good. Here's the quality, by the way, because it seems pretty good. This is on a Hangout version. We've got it's still working quite well.
I haven't experienced any problems buffering or anything like that. It's just sound. Well, when you've got your mic off, the sound's not too good.
Okay, all right, yeah. But you know, I do notice it, and you actually, you ever thought it might be deliberate on my part?
Oh, maybe. You might be testing us, eh?
Yeah, that's what it is. Can these guys lip read yet? Oh dear. Right. Okay. Now, Rob. So, have you got any questions first before we get into this little exercise?
Mate, I kind of hate going last because Tony took my questions last week, and then John did a great job again this week. But like I emailed you last week, I believe, and it was asking about the physical feelings, and that I was of the opinion, slightly, I guess I was leaning towards it, that when you experience the same one over and over, it was a sign of a bad impending trade. And then I've added to that, how can we have the same 2 physical emotions and then have 2 different possible outcomes?
Okay.
But you touched on that, John. You spoke about that, but if you briefly just...
Yeah, I'll cover that again, though. I'll cover that again because I think that's worth going over. When we're say let's suppose then that you get this indication that comes up in the body or whatever, and you get this, and then you have this winning trade and the losing trade, and you can't split the 2 out. Is that what you mean? You can't split one away from the other?
Well, I've had I've had a couple of bad trades, but say 2 bad ones with the same feelings, but then 4 good ones. So does that emotion, that feeling now mean that that's a positive? You know, I should put that on the positive side, like, because I'm feeling that more with the winning.
Right.
You know, will that eventually fade out the bad trades with that same feeling? You know what I mean? Am I explaining that?
Yeah, you are sort of. I think the thing is you need to just do more, because what Tony was saying, you can see how Tony said how he didn't want to really go through his journal. He felt it was a bad thing to do. And probably what happens is if you get into your journal too quick and you try and drag out that information, then that has that effect of, it can have the effect of blurring what you're looking for. The whole thing becomes a blur. And so then you have to start deciphering your individual entries more to try and pull it out. So my advice would be, stop looking then, carry on doing your entries and look for something to emerge from it. And sometimes, Rob, it can be an extremely subtle difference. You might have almost on the outward thing, you might think, oh, it's the same feeling. But then when you really stop and you sense it within inside you, you think, actually, you know what? There is a subtle difference. And it's that subtle difference that you're after.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so do on that, and so carry on with that, and keep your journal. And I think it's definitely a good idea what Tony was saying, live journal, simulation journal, because it might well be that your strong indicators come from one or the other, and you never really know which way it's going to come, but it will come, and then you will know at the time. Okay, so this exercise I want you to do. I hope you weren't frightened to call in then. I said, I'm going to do this exercise for you. It's not surgery, so don't worry about it. There's no knives or anything on there. So, Rob, what I want you to do for me, and what I want everybody to do at this stage, and we'll go through this with varying people over time, is I want you, and I have to be careful about saying this because I don't want to lead you in certain ways, certain things, but I want you to tell me what it's like now that you are a successful trader achieving everything that you ever wanted from trading. Tell me about your life.
the word that springs to mind is relaxed.
No, you're not describing me. Now, I'm going to interrupt you quite a lot on this. I suspect I'm going to interrupt you a lot, as I will interrupt everybody who does this. I want you to tell me about your life, what it's like now. Now that you are successful, I want to hear, you're getting out of bed tomorrow morning. I'll give you a bit of a leading. You're getting out of bed tomorrow morning. You are a successful trader. You know exactly what you're doing. Your life has been transformed. How has your life been transformed? What are you doing? What's your day like? What's your life like?
Less pressure. I don't know if that's what you're after, but
no, I'm not after that. I'm not after that. I want to describe. I want you to tell me your day. Tell me your day. What's going to happen today? Sorry, you're the first.
Well, that's all right. I don't mind. Well, my day would be able to make decisions quickly, like off the cuff. Like I'm from Australia, my whole family's there. At the moment I'm in Houston. The ability for me to get on an airplane anytime I want and go back there. The ability to, my mother's elderly now and thinking of moving.
So you're telling me the ability, which is great. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Rob, but you're telling me the ability is, but the ability is projecting it off into the future. Okay. I don't want to hear about the future. I want to hear about now. So you got up this morning and you decided what? On the morning to what? Did you decide to fly to Australia?
Yes, if I wish to.
Yeah. So today, do you wish to fly to Australia?
No, not today.
Okay. But so what I'm trying to do here is, and you see how much difficulty you're having with this, but this is so important, Rob, yes. Because for everybody watching this, I cannot impress upon you that unless you get into this mindset, we have to change everybody on this course. Everybody's self-image has to change. Whatever you view yourself as now, right, you are not as successful as a trader now. That's not a derogatory remark, Rob. I'm saying that as a thing for everybody on the course. So when I term successful, again, I feel you're careful of that because success comes in many forms. Okay, it's not always about money. All right, so where you are now in life is because of the self-image that we hold of ourselves. It's what we are, who we are. Everything that comes from us is based on our self-image, the life that we're living now, and all our decisions are made and our subconscious feelings come as a result of that. To move to a different life, a completely different life, we have to change the image, and that image has to change within ourselves first. It will not change on the outside in. It will never occur that way. We have to live the life that we want to live, and that life has to be lived today, now. Now, I know we hear a lot about this in different types of books and all this sort of stuff and The Secret about, but a lot of these books fail to grasp. The fundamental is they tell you think positive, make goals, do this, and do all these steps that you can do, the checklist, what you got to do every morning, say this and everything else. And these is good. These are good points to do. I'm not decrying these books at all. They're all good. But I will say, and maybe put my head on the chopping block for a few others, that none of this will take place until the self-image of that person is adjusted from which all these things can spring from. Because as long as you have the self-image of who you are, and what your life is, those extra things, they're like wallpapering over the cracks. So how do we do this? How do we do this? And maybe this, and I'm taking over and doing all the talking now. I really wanted to draw stuff out of you, but I think it's poignant for me to explain this in greater detail. How do we do this? How do we change our image into that which we want to be? Well, ultimately, we know what we want to be. You said that you wanted to fly back to Australia, and I'm going to use that as an example. You get up in the morning, you want to decide what you do and fly off to where you want to fly off. Now, I'll tell you a true story, a little one about myself. When I first started off trading, I was in England. I was in a house in Toaster, quite a nice home, just the average sort of home. And downstairs, I had a cellar. Now, I hasten to add, it wasn't like a dirty, dingy cellar. It was quite a nice cellar with some steps down it, and that was my trading office. And up the stairs led up into the kitchen. And Denise would be up in the kitchen, you know, doing away, cooking or what she's doing, all that sort of stuff. And one particular day she came, the boys were very young and they'd been down to the what we call the rec, which was the park. And they came back and they found some syringes in the park. And it just freaked Mum out, as you can imagine. It's like really freaked her out that, you know, just found these syringes down there. And, you know, Toaster was a nice little place and is a nice little place, but, you know, they found this as kids do. And about 20 minutes later, the kids have gone off playing, whatever, and she walked past and she said, I tell you what, she said, you know, we should sell up and just go and live in Spain. And I said, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do that. Within 3 days, we were in Spain and had bought a house. Now,
right.
So I understand, and the story of that, the method of the moral of that story is I understand what you're saying about being able to make those decisions. And it's very important that we can do those. But I was able to do that, not because, oh yeah, yes, I had the money, but I wasn't able to do it because of that. I was only being able to do it because the self-image I have of what I was doing and where I was going was completely taken root. So it didn't matter where I was in the world. She could have said Italy, Spain, Australia, whatever. It wouldn't have mattered because of where I was coming from. And I need to get every one of you guys to be in that same mindset that you can make these decisions fearlessly because it's who you are. You know, you have this intrinsic confidence in what you're doing. So when I asked you to go and live this day, and what I want you to do this coming week for everybody is I want you to go into this world. I want you to live in the world. And some people call it fantasy. Well, that's their problem. I don't say it's their issue. That's a problem for them if they think this is a fantasy. All the things we have in our mind and the things we want to do, you know, they can be created in reality, but we've got to live it. So you want to go off to Australia, then tomorrow morning or whenever in the next 10 minutes, you imagine yourself getting up, I'm going to Australia, you get in the car, you drive there, you get on the plane, you buy your first class ticket, you sit back in the seat, you put your feet up, and it's of no consequence to you of what that flight cost. It just doesn't matter. It's not something you're thinking about, oh, should I go first class or should I? Because you might not want to go first class. You might want to go ordinary class and you might want to give somebody some money when you get there that you would have spent on your ticket, you know, and that type of thing. And that, isn't that a great thing? Instead of going first class, you give some money.
Sounds like such a simple question, but I don't know why I'm having trouble answering that.
Yeah. The reason you're having trouble answering it, Rob, is because and again, not a criticism. I will never take what I say as a criticism against you. It's never intended that way. It's
let me have it.
And really when I'm talking to you, of course, I'm talking to all the other students as well. Why can't we do it? Why do we struggle with this? Because we're not trained to do it. We're trained in the outer world. We're trained on the next reality TV show. We lose the ability over time to create the movies in our minds. You know, the endings are given to us. We don't have these things, but we are everything that we believe we are. Every single thing that you are today.
And it's really funny. I don't know if whether this is a good thing, but I'm halfway through a book by Paul McKenna, the British. Are you familiar with him? He's a great hypnotist.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm halfway through Change Your Life in 7 Days, it's called, but it's quite interesting. It does mention positive mental imagery and movies in your mind and all that sort of stuff. And
yeah, I think you need to move beyond the positive. Move beyond the positive imagery. Again, this is like the glissy. It sounds good in a book. Positive imagery. It sounds good in a book. It reads good, and you read and you think, oh, that's good. That's great. But there's a difference between positive imagery to feeling how your butt feels on the seat, on the aircraft, going to Australia. There's a difference to how it feels when your foot, your left foot or your right foot steps off the aircraft onto the tarmac, if that's where you're treading, or when you're walking in and when you're meeting your family. There's a difference to when you're holding somebody you love as to thinking about holding somebody you love. So you have to take it to that degree. You have to really take it right through to that degree where you are feeling that emotion, that it becomes part of you. You know, if you're doing it right, Rob, then you should be bloody emotional. You should be so hooked into it that, you know, you are feeling the emotion when you meet somebody you love, when you embrace them, because then you know you've got it. But if you just imagine meeting them and seeing their face, hey, that's creative visualization maybe, but it's not living that image. And you need to live that image. It's a lot of stuff,
Right,
Rob, isn't it?
Yep.
I hear you give a big exhale there. It's a lot. It is a lot of stuff.
Well, it isn't, I think. I mean,
yeah.
It sounds simple too. Well, you know, I can't explain that. But
yeah. The reason it sounds simple is because it is, and then people say, well, no, it can't be that easy. It can't be that easy because it's simple. Because we associate pain and work and everything else with getting the things we want in life. But it's really not like that. It doesn't have to be like that. Anyway, listen, we're okay. We didn't. I say we didn't go where we wanted to go. We actually did, because I managed to explain, by talking to you, I managed to explain the process that I want you to do. And this is open for everybody.
It's great.
So what we'll do is we'll end now, and then next week we'll do a bit more on this, and I'm going to get somebody else in the hot seat. So if you're watching this now, make sure you're ready, that you are able to dive into your created new self, your image. I want to learn about it. I want to hear about it. I want to know where your tears are, where your emotions are. I want to know all this stuff in great detail, because if you know it in detail, that much detail, you will own it. And when you own it, all these things will come dropping down. Now, what I've done today is I've really thrown you all in at the deep end. And I know that I've overloaded you all. But yeah, no apologies, but sorry. But that's the way we've got to go. We've got to keep pushing. We've got to keep driving. We've got to overload you at every point, so that, you know, you get this, so that eventually it all sort of crams in. Because we don't want to be doing this in 3 months' time thinking, okay, when we're going to start. This has got to happen now, and then we've got to start cranking on and start making these pips, and start seeing these dollar bills stack up like Tony's notes. I thought he was writing on $20 bills when he was stacking up his notes. I don't know.
Mate, I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to send you an email in a few days about it. So.
Okay, all right. And if it's personal stuff, don't worry about it. Won't broadcast it. And, you know, we'll just, we'll go through that and work together on that. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. We're going to say goodbye from this show. It's been a great one, a long one. And we'll catch up with you really soon.
Thanks, Martin.
Okay, take care.